Amy Klobuchar is a very rare breed of politician these days. She's a senator who both parties want to work with. Please welcome the first female senator in Minnesota history, Senator Amy Klobuchar. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Amy Klobuchar, a rising star within the Democratic Party, and a name you'll see alongside any number of headlines like "Woman Who Should Run for President" and "She'll be president one day." But who is Amy Klobuchar? And will she be president one day? Amy Klobuchar was born in Plymouth, Minnesota on May 25, 1960. The daughter of a second-grade teacher and a sports columnist. Her father, Jim Klobuchar, was an alcoholic, and when Amy was 15, her parents got divorced. While at Yale in the early 80s, Klobuchar interned for then Vice President Walter Mondale and was also a member of the Yale College Democrats and an improv troupe called Suddenly Susan. Klobuchar married private practice attorney John Bessler in 1993, and they have one daughter, Abigail. After a successful career as a prosecutor, Klobuchar was elected Hennepin County Attorney in 1998. And in 2006 won 58% of the vote to become the first woman elected to the U.S. Senate from Minnesota. She increased her share of the vote to 65% in 2012 and won re-election for a second time in 2018, taking 60% of the vote.
And we voted for substance instead of subtweets.
Not long after taking up her new role, Senator Klobuchar was faced with her first big challenge. The I-35 bridge in Minneapolis collapsed on August 1, 2007, killing 13 people and injuring another 145. Klobuchar has been praised for her efforts in securing the federal funding needed to replace the bridge, and it was back up a little over a year later. Her old boss, Walter Mondale, once said of the senator, "She's done better in that miserable Senate than most people there."
What are you hiding? What would it hurt? If Judge Kavanaugh is so sure that he has this corroborating evidence and what this calendar means and what these things mean, then what is he afraid of if we just spend 1 week looking at the evidence?
Klobuchar hit the national headlines in 2018 during confirmation hearings for Judge Brett Kavanaugh, Donald Trump's nominee for the Supreme Court. During testimony following accusations of sexual assault from Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, Kavanaugh lost his cool with Klobuchar.
So you're saying there's never been a case where you drank so much that you didn't remember what happened the night before or part of what happened?
You're asking about, blackout. I don't know. Have you?
Could you answer the question, Judge? That's not happened. Is that your answer?
Yeah, and I'm curious if you have.
I have no drinking problem, Judge.
Yeah, nor do I.
Okay, thank you.
He apologized for the comment soon after. Following those hearings and her success in the 2018 midterms, talk perhaps inevitably turned to her making a run for the White House in 2020. Though not for the first time.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'm proud to be a member of the Commerce Committee that passes legislation through the committee under the leadership of Chairman Inouye, Senator Stevens, and Consumer Subcommittee Chairman Pryor.
Way back in 2008, the New York Times ran a piece entitled, "She Might Just Be President Someday." And since Trump's election win in 2016, Klobuchar has appeared on many lists of potential Democratic candidates.
Well, I mean, you have been ranked as first on a list of all 100 senators with the most bills that have been enacted into law during the current Congress, which is amazing.
Klobuchar is a well-liked and well-respected senator, with friends on both sides of the aisle, something she herself says is very important.
That we have to bring some neighborliness into the United States Senate, that we have to bring the values of representing your neighbors. And a lot of that have been lost in a world where people are on opposite sides of the aisle throwing punches. And so my point is that courage is not whether you're going to go in there and just throw a lot of insults at each other. Courage is whether or not you're willing to stand next to someone you don't always agree with for the betterment of this country. And that's what this is about.
A recent CNN poll also found that Klobuchar was one of the more electable potential Democratic candidates, alongside Sherrod Brown of Ohio. Could we see a Klobuchar-Brown ticket, or vice versa? Like Brown, Klobuchar is a popular establishment figure with impressive liberal credentials, but like her colleague from Ohio, she lacks the national name recognition of other establishment Democrats like Joe Biden and Michael Bloomberg. And unlike California's Kamala Harris and New York's Kirsten Gillibrand, Klobuchar may struggle to raise campaign funds. It's hard to ignore that 60% vote share, though, in a swing state where Hillary Clinton only won by a small margin in 2016. One route back to the White House for the Democrats is via the Midwest, which means having a candidate who can flip Iowa, Michigan, Ohio, and Wisconsin. Could a native Midwesterner like Amy Klobuchar be that candidate?
I stand before you as the granddaughter of an iron ore miner, as the daughter of a teacher and a newspaper man, as the first woman elected to the United States Senate from the state of Minnesota, to announce my candidacy for President of the United States.
The senior senator from Minnesota is certainly worth keeping an eye on. She could be president one day.
What do you do when he has that angry emotion? You take it head on with positive emotion, and that's how you win.
Knock wood. Knock wood.